Hey everyone, and welcome. So today's video, I've been 3 weeks almost on the road now. I left my home in Geelong, Victoria, and I'm now living full-time in my 1975 Toyota Coaster with my 2 dogs. And the day I left, I asked myself, did I make the worst mistake of my life? The answer now is no. I'm really happy, but I had some teething problems. So I want to share with you those 10 teething problems. If you're thinking about getting on the road, if you're already on the road, maybe these will help. So the first thing I did, which I know every newbie does, is I overpacked. I thought I was doing really well getting a 3-bedroom house down to the 6.5 by 1.8 meter bus and a horse float. I still have way too much stuff, and I've slowly been going through and giving stuff away to people on the road, dropping it at op shops just to get my weight down. The other thing I did was I filled up with everything. I filled up water. I had 2 20-litre barrels on top of the 100 litres that the bus can carry filled up in the float. I was just carrying too much water. So my plan going forward is, when I've worked out where my next stop is, so travelling empty or empty-ish, no extra water on board. When I get to the last petrol station before my next campground, that's when I'll fill up with water, so I'm not carrying that extra weight for hundreds and hundreds of kilometres. The other thing was, I never test drove the bus with the horse float on board, filled with my Harley Davidson and all my other stuff before I left home. Yes, I am carrying a Harley. So I didn't test drive it. So I didn't know that when I go up a hill, the bus will not pull it using the LPG. So I just watched my petrol tank go further and further and further down, which has kind of meant that financially I've been a little bit stuck in this beautiful place that I'm in. So I'm on the Loddon River, which is just here behind me. There's tap water, not for drinking, but there is tap water here. So I've been hand washing my clothes, and the dogs can drink that water as well, and I can have plenty of showers. So that's been a good thing. So now I do look at the campsites on Wikicamps. If they have water, tap water, I don't even bother to fill up at the petrol station like I spoke about. I do buy bottled water to drink, and I go through about 20 to 30 litres a fortnight, just in cups of tea and water for cooking. Uh, so they are my weight workarounds. Once I kind of settled in with that and worked all those little things out, I'm feeling a lot better and a lot more comfortable with how hard the motor's working to pull the rest of what I've got. Now, I've been a camper for a long, long time, and one thing I've always done with camping is taken firewood. Sometimes we've gone and set up camp, and then I've gone and found the local firewood merchant and even bought a trailer load to last for a few weeks. So I had a little bit of firewood, not much, and I really wanted to have a fire, but unfortunately I only had one night's worth of firewood and it was gone pretty quickly. So it's been a bit of a mental thing to get over the fact that I can't have a fire every night because I can't carry the amount of wood I need to always have a fire. And certainly there's no ability to collect firewood uh, pretty much anywhere in Victoria unless you go into the bush right off grid. So that was another thing. The other thing I found out yesterday, and it was the first hot day we've had all year, was I was sitting under my awning, but every time I walked out of the awning or into the bus, it was actually cooler. So I know on hot days, yeah, the awning's great, it shades me, but it's hotter under the awning. So who would have guessed that? I did get a trick from somebody on Facebook, and it was about looking at hills. So, again, I'm carrying too much weight. So, they said click on the cycle icon, and then you get to see the various routes to where you're going and what the hills are. It's mostly flat, moderate hills, or steep hills are the three options. So I thought, okay, great. So I left it in cycle mode. And then the silly thing wanted to take me down dirt roads and little cycle tracks. So while it's great to look on Google Maps to see the hills in the cycle option, you can't use them driving down the road. And I also found they kind of took me a bit more of the long way around as well. So I know I can have a look at it, but I need to use the road maps. Being alone. So I'm fairly happy in my own company. But yeah, it's a different feeling when you're on the road and you're by yourself. Maybe it's the mind playing tricks, I don't know. But if you're starting your journey alone, or if you are already on it, you'll know what I mean. There was a time earlier this week where almost everybody had left the campsite, and I'm feeling pretty safe here. It's a beautiful spot. It's a well-used site, very close to the road. You know, I'm not in the middle of the bush or anything by myself, but at the same time, there was a little bit of trepidation that came up. Am I going to be alone here at night? No, I'm never alone. I've got the dogs, but and I wasn't scared, but there was that little bit of trepidation in terms of, am I going to be in this campsite all by myself? And you know, I didn't think about scenarios or anything. You know, I'm not thinking about the worst things, but at the same time, there was still that, oh, am I going to be okay here all by myself? And I know that there will be times when that will happen. But yeah, as you can see, I've got some dog fencing around me. I'm under my awning. Um, so, yeah, my dogs don't let too much go past without barking. So they'll at least make me aware if there's anything going on. At night, I do close everything up. And if I had to drive off, well, it's only the awning that I'd probably lose if I left it out. I can't sleep in anymore. That's another big drawback for being on the road. So the dogs and I have gotten to a bit of a routine. Get up fairly early. I let them out here into the little yard, but it's mainly for a drink. They're really good. Unless they're absolutely busting, they won't go to the toilet in this little yard area. So I have a cup of tea, do what I have to do, and then I will go out for a walk with the dogs, and that's where they do their number twos. Yes, I do pick it up, no matter where I am. And then we come back and I can finish my morning routine. But there's no sleeping in because they want to get out and do their business. So that's a bit of a drawback. Stay times in at site. So I've had that bit of an issue with my petrol and not being really able to afford to move on right now. I am moving on later in the week. Uh, but then you've got to be careful with the stay limits in the campsites. Some campsites will only allow you 48 hours. This one here is 3 weeks out of every 5. So when planning out my trip, I'm looking for ones, unless I'm just wanting to go somewhere, have a look, and then move on the next day. I'm certainly looking for ones that I can stay maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at a time. So that's a little bit of an issue in terms of the cost of traveling. So yes, I might have lost having to pay rent, but that definitely gets taken up for petrol. So did I make, oh, and the next one I have Starlink, just the final one, and it's a real positive because, well, it's a bit of a double-edged sword actually. On one hand, I've got internet and phone connection wherever I am in Australia. On the other hand, I can't park in the shade of trees because the trees block the Starlink, and I do a little bit of work online in Zoom groups, so I definitely have to have that connection. So when I get to a campsite, I've got to try and find somewhere out of tree blockage, somewhere flat. I have stayed a night or two where I've been on an angle with my feet higher than my head, and that's been really uncomfortable. And I have no ability within my bus to sleep, in any direction. I've got cupboards at my feet, so I couldn't swap it around to have my head higher. And finding flat ground isn't easy in an RV. When you've got a caravan, you can put your levelers up and you can get pretty flat, but just in a motorhome, you can't. So these are all things that most people, if you're starting off or if you're already on the road, you need to take into account, or you're already, like me, taking them into account. So I really hope that these 10 odd tips help. The question, did I make the biggest mistake of my life? In the first few days, I would have said, yeah, probably. Now I'm getting into the swing of being on the road. Absolutely, definitely not. It's been the best thing that I've ever done. I have a couple of issues still to work out. I need to find somewhere where I can unpack the float, take my Harley out, store it all, sell the float, and buy a lighter single axle trailer for my bike. And how long that takes, I'm not sure. So got a bit of logistics to sort out with that issue, but won't be long, and things will be all sorted out. So I have not made the biggest mistake of my life. I've only just started living, and I would thoroughly recommend this lifestyle to anybody. So until the next video, where I take you around the campground that I'm at, as well as the last couple that I've been to, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel as I take you around Australia one slow step at a time. Till then, bye.